Now, your job as a parent is to get them properly socialized by age 4. Is to reject others before others can reject them. If you are a parent and you've got some kids that are teenagers that are kind of on the outside, they've been sort of left behind by their peers, or maybe if you're just a parent that has young children and you want to make sure that they don't get left behind by their peers, this video is for you. So if you're ready, let's get going. If you're looking at your family situation and your kids are kind of left out by their peers, you may be asking yourself, what happened? So today we're going to jump into the world of developmental psychology to solve this riddle. Now, first of all, there are many reasons this could happen, but I'm only going to go into one of them because some kids may have grown up in an abusive, chaotic household, or maybe some traumatic experience where everyone in the family was put back on their heels. And those speak for themselves, and I'll do another video about those later. But this is about what to do about socialization, because that is the big one. Now, your job as a parent is to get them properly socialized by age 4. We need to start out with the understanding that the most problematic cohort, the ones that will steal property the most, bite, hit, punch, kick, and be extremely difficult, that is the 2-year-olds. Because at 2 years old, they think they are their own world. And because of the way that our brains develop, by age 4, roughly, give or take, kids are set in their ways of socializing with each other and acceptance of each other. So if you've got a child that has really bad habits growing up, you could have a bullheaded, hard-charging, difficult kid that acts like a 2-year-old when they're 4. The problem here is that most children by age 4 have grown out of that. And if your children are still acting like that at age 4, they will be ostracized by the 4-year-olds, because no 4-year-old wants to play with another 4-year-old that acts like a 2-year-old. And it gets even worse after that, because if your kid is 4 and they can't share, they can't get along, they're prone to temper tantrums, they scream and yell, and they act in a way that pushes other kids away because they're a little bit fearful, you're going to have a problematic child, and they're on their way to being left out and ostracized by their peers. So what happens at this point is when they enter the school system, they're already behind and they're already ostracized. So the kids that they know won't play with them. New kids that they meet think that they act like babies or act like small tyrants, so they don't want to play with them, and your kids are on the trail to heartbreak. Now, if by the time they get into elementary school, the kids are increasing the gap, and that reputation will follow them all the way through their school years. By the time they get into junior high, they're not invited to any events, they're not invited to people's birthday parties, and they've found themselves in a situation where they find other kids that are also left behind and other kids that are also ostracized, and they pick up hobbies that most of the other normal, and I hate to use that term, but most of the other kids kind of think is weird. And by the time they're teens, you could have very rebellious kids that are running around with other kids, and they're going to make trouble. It could happen to a girl, it could happen to a boy. It doesn't matter, because once they've been pushed back from the rest of the crowd, it hurts them emotionally, and they may not tell you, and they may develop a rough exterior, but the reason why they develop the rough exterior is to reject others before others can reject them. So what do? We need to be vigilant when they are young. You need to have discipline in your home. You need guardrails. You need to make sure that your kids are socializing with other children their age, because if they only socialize with adults, it will be awkward for them when they're around kids their own age. And if you're wondering, what do we do if they're already teens and this has already happened? Now what do? I've got another video about that coming up very soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys are still here, do me a favor, click on one of these other videos. I'll be back very soon in the next one. See you then.